Guys, we are back with another episode of Way Back Dads. We are just saying. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon,
And I'm Andrew.
and we're the Way Back Dads. So
That's
we're going
right.
to do a little catching up today, talk a little bit about, obviously, Dragon Ball, catch up on Daima and whatnot. But first, let's do some catching up. What's going on, Andrew? How's life? How's the kid?
Yeah, life's going really great right now. Callie is getting very expressive, so she'll give this like this sour face, like
Hmm.
like, and then she'll either like laugh or giggle. I love she's got like a couple different laughs now. She's got like
Yeah.
the and then she's
Hmm.
got like the maniacal like ha ha. So she's got a bunch of different laughs going on.
Yeah.
and
Good stuff.
yeah, and she's just getting into everything. So it's
Yeah. It's the
really,
fun stuff.
yeah, and she loves
Once they
climbing
start
stairs.
walking,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a whole nother story. That's what I always tell people. It's like almost like the honeymoon phase, like with relationships. It's like the honeymoon phase of having your first kid is just they can't move very much. When they can't move, it's like easier. You just put them down. You don't have to worry too much. You can go turn around, do something. Once they start moving, you can't take your eyes off them. You can't do anything. You can't leave the room. You can't pour a glass of water. Nothing. Like you gotta.
so
It's just
true.
24/7.
It's so true. Yeah, and then so if you go to pour that glass of water, then she cries immediately. She just wants you to be there. So
Yeah,
it's it's a fun balance. So
yeah.
it's essentially we've struck it where Robin will be like cleaning up after dinner. I'll take the baby in the basement and like we'll play a little bit with
Yeah.
the toys. And then Robin will come down with the bottle and then we'll bring the baby up to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it works pretty well.
That's
But
a good routine.
how's it with two kids? I feel like the dynamic with two kids is so much more difficult than with one.
It is, man. It's. I think I mentioned it before. It might have even been on one of the shows, one of the episodes, but somebody mentioned where it's like, having two kids is like what you expected having three kids would feel like. It's not. It's not just double the work. It feels like more. It's a lot. I mean, it's between two parents. Obviously, like you said, you could split up, and somebody could take on something. Somebody takes the kid. Somebody takes on a chore. You can't do that with two kids. There's two of them. There's everyone. Like you're either one person's got to take care of both, which is like hectic, or and someone else does a chore, or someone you got to split up the kids. I don't know. We don't have much of a routine. We try, but it's like it gets changed every night because they're different every night, and it's chaos sometimes. But it's a lot of the same stuff too. Mason's got his laughs and everything he finds funny. He's saying more words. He's talking more. Not saying sentences or anything, but just putting more words, starting to say more words. But he is climbing, dude. He's mastered the climb of the couch,
Oh
and
wow.
now climbs like pretty much on top of the couch. There's like a windowsill back there, so he climbs on the
Yeah.
windowsill, sits there, which is kind of fine. It's not there's no gap, so you don't go. But he likes to go to the edge on where he could fall off the side. He likes to do that. Today, I again left the room for like 10 seconds. And came back, and he had his water bottle on top of the windowsill couch, and he just has it upside down, and it's just water everywhere. And I was like, "Come on, dude! Like you're
Yeah.
killing me here." He also learned how to climb the dining room table.
Oh
He
no.
pulls the chair out, climbs the chair, and then climbs onto the table. So can't leave him alone for 10 seconds. We're on a table, on a windowsill. He's all over. He's like a monkey. Um, and then Luca is just, he'll be 4 in April, so he's all over the place, dude. He loves cars, obsessed with cars. Wants to watch random YouTube videos about cars. A lot of it is just people playing with car toys, and it's just that's all the video is. Um, Hates sharing with Mason. Yells at him a lot for touching his stuff.
Oh
But
no.
then occasionally he will share, and it's like you see like I don't know this bond between them. That's kind of nice. And then it goes right back to yelling. uh,
2 seconds later.
yeah, but literally, like I don't know. Luca after a night's rest, he's like nice in the morning. He like wants to hug Mason. He wants to get him out of bed. But then about after 10 minutes, he's like, "Don't touch my toy." He just pulls it out of his hands. Like Mason starts crying. And it's a lot, dude. But again, yeah, there's those moments where they're nice to each other and they're hot. You know, even when Luca cries, Mason goes over now, like pats him, like he goes to check on him. So Mason goes to check on Luca. Luca will go check on Mason. So there's good stuff in there, amongst the chaos. Um, but yeah, that's kind of all that's going on there. Besides sicknesses in winter.
Everybody's healthy now.
Kinda. I don't know. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm getting sick a little bit right now.
Oh no.
You know that feeling like in your throat, like when you're,
Ah,
I
yes.
feel it like it's coming. I'm like,
Yeah.
hopefully it's just in my head. I don't know, but I kind of
I
feel
I hate when I start feeling that way with the back of the throat,
it.
and
Yeah.
you know it's coming on, and you're trying everything to stop it, and
Yeah. Taking
nothing stops it.
vitamins. I'm drinking vitamin water all
Yeah,
day.
right, right, right. You're just trying to preempt it. You're taking vitamins, vitamin water,
Yeah.
emergency, everything.
Yeah. They were sick for like 2 weeks almost between back to
Oh,
back, where they had fevers and Luca was coughing. They're both coughing a lot. Yeah, it's so weird. Like as Mason, especially, you can hear it as soon as it started. You can hear he's all nasally and he's miserable because he had a fever. But they're good now. I don't know why I feel like I'm getting sick. I don't, like they're not sick
yeah,
anymore. I don't know. I haven't gone anywhere. I don't go out and see people, so I don't know. We'll
yeah.
see. Hopefully, it's like 50-50. Tomorrow, I'll either wake up with a sore throat or I'll be all right. We'll see.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those nights where it's at the end of the night, my throat's a little, it's feeling like that, and then I wake up and I'm feeling good. So
Yeah. Sometimes it's just your body's just run down. I don't know.
yeah, your body needs a little rest, and hopefully it'll heal up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, other than that, I mean, I'm just right now. I'm getting ready. Well, mentally, I'm getting ready for the Super Bowl. Go Birds,
oh
baby.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
Birds.
How was your like how after the win, the big win? How did you fare the next day? How
That's all
big
right.
of a head?
Actually, like, I thought I was gonna drink more. I didn't really.
Oh, okay.
I had some bourbon. I was like mostly first half, like before the game. Honestly, was the most because I was like trying to calm myself down. Um, but the game was, for the most part, it wasn't. We pretty much had it handled.
Yeah, you crushed them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Washington, had their moments early on, but it wasn't a game where I was too nerve wracked. And I was just home. My cousin came over, so it was just us and my cousin. So I didn't end up drinking too much. Um, so I was actually pretty okay the next day. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Super Bowl, I kind of want to go somewhere, do something. Not like I don't want to go out. I just would rather. I just want to be around some people. So who knows? I'll probably drink more because I'll be like my nerves will be before the game. I'll be wasted because I'm gonna be so nervous. Um, but yeah, my emotions get too they're too tied to the Eagles.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like unreasonable. Can I
well,
understand? I know it is.
we've had so many good weeks now, Brad. I mean,
I
if they
know.
lose, we're gonna have to cancel the podcast. So
I
it's
know very much. Yeah. I'll be in depression for a little bit.
yeah,
Uh,
for months, for years.
Especially if it's like ends like the last Super Bowl where it's like the refs
Oh,
in
that
the
was
game.
that last Super Bowl. So this is the rematch,
Yeah.
and it was terrible. Like I just remember I was at your house
Yeah.
pre baby for
Yeah.
us,
That's right.
and
We only had the one. We only had Luca.
yeah,
That's why I was like,
and
even thinking about doing that this time, I was like, I don't know, with two of them, it'd be worse. Like, they
yeah.
would not sleep, like, if I had people over. So I don't know if I'm going to do that this time.
Well,
We'll
and
see.
it's gonna go. It starts at 6:30. So
Yeah,
it's
but wait, that's the other thing. If I go to someone else's house, I gotta find someone to come watch them, who will put them to
right.
bed and stuff. So it's a whole new thing now. I gotta figure it out. But yeah, go Birds, man.
Go Birds. We were gonna stop at my parents prior to the show and just hang out, eat dinner, and then come home because the baby's got to go to bed at 7. So it's
Yeah,
that's just a hard rule. So
yeah,
if we don't put her down, she becomes completely different baby. Like she's
Oh
the
yeah,
sweetest baby ever, and then sleep deprived baby becomes nightmare baby.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's
Really
crazy.
quick.
Even today, I mean, they didn't, for whatever reasons, they didn't really take a nap. Either one of them. So by nighttime, they were miserable. They were crying
Yeah.
for everything, and we were just like, "You guys gotta go to bed."
Right. Yeah, that's always the safe bet. You want a happy life, you put your kids to bed early
Yeah, for
and
real.
get them in, get them in bed and make sure they get that sleep.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
how do you feel about the Birds versus the Kansas City? What are
I
you
mean,
feeling?
it's, honestly, I mean, if I'm being honest, it's 50-50. Like,
Okay,
we
it is a
technically
coin
have the
flip.
better team
Yeah.
overall. They obviously have the better quarterback. And that's not a knock on Jalen Hurts because he's a damn good quarterback. But Patrick Mahomes is just on another level than anyone else.
Yeah.
Andy
And
Reid has been
he's
coaching
not
for like
injured,
40
right?
years. He's not injured. No, I mean, he got banged up a little, but, they had the bye week now. He's fine. I don't think
Yeah.
injuries a concern. But Andy Reid, again, he's been coaching for like 40 years, so he's seen it all. He's done it all. He knows everything there is to know about football. So like that's the biggest thing is like going against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't matter how good the rest of their team is. They'll always have a chance. They'll always have a chance to win. So we have a great team. We have a better team than we did the last time we played them, where we almost won. And again, like we didn't lose because of that stupid call at the end, but the game ended right there because of that stupid call. And we didn't even have a chance to get the ball back, which we should have, and try to score at least one more time. That's what pisses me off. But we have a better team, so should we should win.
Right. Well,
I mean, we also
do
have to play the refs a little, so
do we think we have the rushing advantage?
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley is like legendary at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
things he's doing is crazy. I mean, they have a good defense against the rush, but they haven't faced Saquon, so
Mm-hmm.
I think Saquon's going to get his, but Jalen Hurts, he's going to have to throw it pretty good too. So, and
Yeah.
he can. I don't question that. He's just going to
You
have to.
you think it's going to be high scoring, low scoring? What do you think?
I think. I mean, it's not going to be high scoring, but
Not like the
it's
last game. Yeah.
probably something like maybe 27-23, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, real tight.
Yeah, tight.
Coming down to a
And a
field
couple of
goal.
those, I mean, 27 might be a little bit on the higher end, but that might be like a late game score. So yeah, I mean, that might be my score prediction. Eagles
Yeah.
27-23. Let's go.
We should put a block pool in, see if we can
Yeah,
win some money on that.
yeah, buddy.
Uh,
I mean, I don't know anything about gambling or any of that, so
I
I
don't
have no
either.
idea what that even means. Block pool, I
I'm,
don't
I'm
know.
just I'm trying to get a sponsorship, DraftKings. Let's go.
DraftKings,
Yeah.
FanDuel. Just name all of
FanDuel,
them and
yeah.
see if one bites.
Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah. All right, we did it. So
Yeah. Yeah, but it should
so
be fun. I mean, obviously, again, we're on kind of like I don't know what's called tape delay. So this is going to come out after the Super Bowl's done, but
we're gonna
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to review the tape and watch how
yeah,
accurate we were and
yeah. We'll
to
see. I'm
see.
calling it 27-23. So
Yeah.
we'll see how close that was. I
That's a
have it
good
recorded.
segue. That's a good segue because today is Groundhog Day, so we're calling it
Yeah,
on Groundhog Day. And
yeah. You mentioned that. I didn't know. That's not one of my holidays. It's against my religion.
yeah. So the groundhog did see its shadow, so we are going to get 6 more weeks.
All
And
right, I forgot about that aspect of Groundhog
y-
Day.
yeah, and so a
That's a good
funny
movie.
story about that. We're going to go there. So
Where?
put it on your calendar, 2031. You got to go to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and you're bringing the kids. We're going to
The
make it a
year
really
2031?
yeah 2031.
Okay.
Like
You're gonna
the
have to
year.
remind me because I'm not.
We're bringing the kids for a road trip. We're gonna watch the groundhog see its shadow. I'm gonna make you a believer in in the religion
Okay.
of Groundhog Day.
That's where I didn't know. I know none of this. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of that place. This is
It,
all news to me.
it's in Pennsylvania, so it's close to Pittsburgh. So
Oh, okay, that's a drive.
yeah, about 4.5 hours. So we're gonna have to
Okay,
leave on a Friday, and
you got it all planned out already. All right,
yeah,
cool,
we're
cool.
serious. Like
You know
we
what,
really
six
want to do
years?
it.
That's cool. It's enough time for me to plan,
Yeah,
mentally
you got
prepare.
plenty. Yeah, you got 6 years. Kids will be older. It'll be
Yeah,
that that'll be fun. And hopefully,
yeah,
I'll have another one by then. So
yeah. I would imagine. I mean, 6 years for you're gonna wait 6 years for another kid.
no, no, definitely not. Yeah, we're kid way before then. Hopefully, we'll
Yeah.
see within the next 2 years.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's not a holiday I track, but I have seen the movie. I know it's a good movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but I know you said you like that movie, Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I love that movie. I watched it yesterday and today. Like I started watching it last night,
Yeah,
but
you
then
love Groundhog Day in general.
yeah,
The holiday, the
yeah,
movie,
the
you're ready to
movie,
celebrate.
yeah, the movie is absolutely one of my favorite movies. It just
It is classic.
we're it's so good because it follows. For those of you who've never seen it, which I doubt is there's, but maybe some younger fellow,
Young people, yeah.
younger people haven't watched it. But I highly recommend it. Great movie from our youth. It goes way back,
I don't even know that's
and
from my youth. I think it's from before. When
yeah,
did that come out?
I think it came out in '92 or something like that.
Oh yeah, I guess that's youth technically.
Yeah,
It'd been like three,
yeah,
like youth.
right. And Bill Murray's the main character, and follows his. He's a meteorologist, and they send him to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, to cover the groundhog.
Yeah.
And he winds up getting stuck in a loop on Groundhog Day until he figures out how to get out. And the only way to get out of the loop is to he did good deeds for the entire town that he was in. And
Right.
then the next day he woke up and it was not Groundhog Day anymore. But it's
Yes, it
great.
sounds familiar. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but that all sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill
And
Murray's a
I
legend too.
he's so good. I what I love about that movie is the the journey. So he goes from kind of self-absorbed, media like egotistic
Mm,
journalist to
yeah.
then he becomes obsessed with uh, trying to get with the producer Rita in the story. Her name is
Hmm.
Rita, and then he discovers that he can't. No matter what he does, she won't fall in love with him. So he essentially turns. Oh, she. There's this pivotal point in the show where uh, she mentions you should see this as a blessing, like to be able to live every day for infinity. You can do so many good things, and then that sparks the change in
Hmm.
which he was able to get out of it.
Yeah.
So he recognized to live for others and to do things for others to make other people's
Yeah.
lives better.
Good message
Uh,
for a
right,
movie.
he was able to break the spell that way.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
really beautiful movie.
Yeah. I've seen it probably like two or three times, but it's been a while, but I do remember enjoying it. Yeah. I do love a good journey, character journey. It's good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it was really, and there's great moments of humor like the Phil
Yeah.
Connor. It's me, Ned Connors, and then he like punches him in the face, and it's really funny. But there's
Yeah. It's
there's
good,
there's all
man.
those good good moments in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so
Every
yeah, he
book.
was he was wishing to get out and he couldn't get out, and so I think Dragon Ball Z kind of has wishes in it as well.
Well, yeah.
And
The Dragon Balls, man.
that's right.
And how it all started. I know.
Yep.
It's been a while since we've really looked back at like the meaning of what the Dragon Balls like represent in the show because it was like that was always what it was, and like I think we did mention we're kind of like the show lost sight of that for a little bit,
Hmm.
but it kind of came back now with in Daima, and I know I told you I looked up. I got I think you look up too, like the list of some of the wishes that have gone out throughout the series.
Yeah.
Mm,
My list starts with
that
Oolong's wish, which is the
that's
first
one
wish in
about a
the whole series.
movie. Jeez, I didn't realize how broken down mine was. Well, let's go off your list. That's what's confusing me.
Okay,
Now
okay.
that I'm looking at it.
So I think my list is in order from first to last wish in the series.
Is it covering like Dragon Ball Z 2, or like just
Covers
Z?
Dragon Ball Z, and GT.
Cool.
I think it covers Super as well.
Nice.
So the
Which
first,
one
very
was the
first,
first one?
yeah, the very first wish in the entire series is Oolong's wish.
Mm.
And so he wanted to prevent Emperor Pilaf from gaining world domination. So he hastily wishes for a pair of women's underwear. That was,
Logically, that makes sense.
yeah.
Naturally, that's exactly what I was thinking. Because again, I've never seen Dragon Ball, so I don't know that stuff. So, yeah, my first thought was women's underwear. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the
You could have
crazy thing.
anything in the world, and women's underwear is what you wish for.
Yes,
So
how'd
that
that work
that
out
goes
for him?
to like the pervy nature of
Yeah.
Akira, and a lot of the early stuff, especially in Dragon Ball, Master Roshi
Oh
with
yeah,
with
Master
the
Roshi's a
nudie
perv.
mags and the bloody noses, and it's there's a lot of that hinting at the pervy underside, the culture of that kind of there and there.
Yeah.
So so the first wish to be women's underwear, and it's not only any just women's underwear, it's like the softest, most comfortable underwear ever. And so, you know, I wish they would have brought that back later.
Who wished for that?
Oolong, it's like the
Oolong,
little,
right?
yeah, he's the pig who can transform.
Yeah, that guy.
I don't know, it's one of those characters that just faded into the background. And
Who
then,
else we got?
so the second wish was, so a lot of these probably won't make sense to you. This character's name is Bora. So Bora was resurrected from the dead after he was killed by mercenary Tao. So Goku gathers the Dragon Balls to revive him. So that's before Goku climbs Korin's tower. Mercenary Tao comes, or maybe Goku was already up at the top, and he kills the father of, I forget, the PO or something. So the second one is resurrection, and then the third one was actually an evil wish. So King Piccolo wishes for his youth,
Yeah.
and
That's like
then
that sounds like a legit wish, especially
yeah,
the evil one from someone
right,
one of the bad characters.
yeah, right. So exactly. I guess it's not a completely evil wish, but when a bad
Here's
character
what you use
does
it
it,
for. Yeah.
right, exactly. So you got restoration of youth, which is the first kind of. So you have resurrection, restoration of youth, and then revival of Piccolo's victims. So after King
Who
Piccolo was defeated, they brought everybody.
wished for that one? That Goku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
all the Dragon Ball ones.
that was all the Dragon Ball ones, right?
Hmm.
And it's interesting because they kind of follow. They did a similar thing for Majin Buu after he was defeated, where they brought back all of the people Majin Buu killed. I think they did the same thing
And
for Frieza
Vegeta,
and Vegeta.
because he
So
killed.
that's a very common wish. Probably the most common is
Yeah.
revival or resurrection.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was. I remember there was like rules about it too, but I think it depended on the dragon. Because
Yeah.
it's like, you can only be wished back once. And that's why, like, I don't know, 'cause I can't even remember how everything happened. It's so, like, Goku, like, at one point, Goku did die, and they
Yep.
didn't wish him back.
That's
And
the
he was, like,
first
gone
wish.
for, like, maybe he's, like, gone, like Gohan grew up, Goten was born, and Goku didn't even know about him. Like,
Yeah.
and then he came back as, like, he had, like, the halo on his head for, like, the world tournament, or the world tournament, or whatever it was, right around the Buu Saga.
Right.
Because they couldn't wish him back because he got wished back already at that point.
Yeah.
And then he died with Cell, but they couldn't wish him back.
So that was the first you mentioned the first Goku after he sacrificed himself to defeat Raditz, he was revived.
Right, that was it. Yeah,
Right, that was the very first wish in Dragon Ball Z was to bring
bring
Goku
her
back.
back. Yeah.
And then the second wish in Dragon Ball Z was to revive all the Namekians killed by Frieza.
Hmm.
And then the third wish in Dragon Ball Z was to transport people to Earth. And then they
Like
resurrected Krillin
Gohan,
and
right? Like
Yamcha.
Gohan, Krillin,
Yeah,
Momo, because Namek was about to like blow up.
yeah.
Right.
And they revived, resurrected Tien and Chiatsu. And then they revived Cell's victims. They
Hmm.
removed the bombs from the androids' chests.
Right. Yeah.
They
That's what
revived
Krillin got his girl.
Majin Vegeta's victims.
Yeah, Majin, I know. He like, blasted the whole stadium or whatever.
Yeah. And then they restored Earth in the revival of Boo's victims. And then they erased Majin Buu from the people's memories.
Right.
So that was the final wishes. There's 10 wishes in Dragon Ball
A lot
Z.
of revivals.
A lot of revivals. A lot of revivals. So it seems like the main wish that winds up occurring is a revival
Yeah.
or a resurrection.
Yeah. There's the unused wishes, right? Because there was like the thing that got started off the story. I feel like it was like, watching Dragon Ball Z, the threat of Frieza, one of the biggest things was Frieza wanted the Dragon Balls to wish for immortality.
Right.
And it was like, it was like a heightened sense of like, we can't let this happen. If Frieza gets immortality, it's done. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
um, that was like a major plot point too with the show when we first got into it. Was not letting Frieza make his wish. But yeah, those Dragon Balls were always like a major part.
I
And
want to I want to
yeah,
continue on that thought because I think that's a really interesting call out. Because if you think about it, Frieza comes back in Resurrection F and all the other Frieza reboots. But
yeah,
in the future Frieza reboots, he never goes back for that wish. You would think Frieza
yeah.
would still have that as an ultimate desire or goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of joked about it too. Like I think we might have mentioned it in an earlier episode, but like something we didn't like because it was like when somebody mentioned it to Frieza, where he was like going to look for the Dragon Balls, and one of his like minions or whatever was like, "What are you gonna wish for?" And he like didn't want to say it. Do you remember this? I feel like it
Was
was
this in
maybe it might have
Super?
been in the movie. It might have been in the
Okay.
Wally movie, I think. And he was like, "What do you want to wish for?" And like Frieza didn't want to say it, and he was like, "Immortality? Is it immortality?" It was like it was like a callback, but then it ended up being something stupid. It was like Frieza wanted to wish to be taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that? Like,
Yeah, I do remember that.
and, like he
Right.
felt embarrassed to like say it or something, and I was like, I mean, it's like it is kind of classic Dragon Ball humor, almost like when you
Right.
talk about the first wish, it was like for a pair of underwear. And it's like almost like that kind of same kind of humor.
Right.
But at the same time, this was like Frieza, and it was like it's funny, but like I want more. So I would expect something more sinister.
Yep.
But all right, I was like, whatever. Let's roll with it.
So the next pair of wishes come from
Hmm.
GT.
Yeah, there was how many was in GT?
GT only had, I think it has 3.
Hmm.
So
Well,
Goku's
what?
transformed into a child,
Right.
then they restored Planet Vegeta, and then they revived those killed by Super 17 and the Shadow Dragons.
Yeah. They restored Planet Vegeta. I don't remember that.
Baby uses the Black Star Dragon Balls to restore Planet Vegeta and Earth's
Huh.
solar system.
Like just the planet or the people too?
I think it just says the planet here, but it
Oh.
might be the people. But no, it's probably just the planet.
So by the end, Planet Vegeta exists again. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that either, actually.
Like, did that go? Was that at the end of the series?
It was in the middle. It
Did
was
they do
actually
anything with it?
so the
Did
the
Vegeta
baby
go back
saga.
there? Like what? What happened?
I would have to rewatch it, but I do remember that the Baby Saga is where Piccolo perished, and you were right. It was early in the GT
Yeah.
series where because he died with Earth. Basically, the Earth blew up.
Yeah. I
So,
just feel like the revival
spoiler
of
alert.
Planet Vegeta would have been a bigger thing.
Right. Yeah, like we would have remembered it a little bit better. I don't remember it at
Yeah.
all.
Because I feel like they probably, like, it just feels like they didn't even do anything with it. Like, why bring it back? What was the point? Like, did they go? I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get too hung up on that, but.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We don't, we don't have to get too deep into GT again.
Yeah. Yeah, so then what? That was GT, and what wishes were in Super?
And then in Super, so Pilaf's gang wish for youth
Right.
prior to the events of the Battle
They
of
got rid of the
Gods.
kids.
Yeah. And then Shenron's information on Super Saiyan God, so they wish for
Right.
information.
I remember
And
that.
then Frieza was resurrected in Resurrection F. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
Shu wished for money. And then only 1 million zenny, which is kind of funny because if you got a wish, you would wish for you know
Gajillion.
unlimited money.
Yeah.
My wish for ice cream. So world class ice cream. That is a callback to the very first wish of like the best underwear or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's another way
Yeah.
Kira wanted to throw in that joke. And then the final was the wish for Pan's health,
Pants
to
hell.
restore Pan's health. That was the final
That.
wish in Super.
What was over the health? I don't remember.
I don't remember that one either.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at that one. But yeah, there's a fair amount
So
of
those
wishes
are
throughout the shows.
that's that's a lot. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. What do we got? We got 6. We got 10. We got 4. That's
Yeah.
20, 23
A
wishes.
lot of resurrections. Uh, some goofy ones, obviously, and then I would like to see them actually let 'cause I feel like there's nothing there where like an actual villain got to make their wish, like a truly like devastating wish, which I miss one.
Right.
It'd be cool if there was like a story where something like that happened, and they had to find a way to like work around it or something. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it always begs the question though: if the Dragon Balls were real, what would we do with them?
What would we do?
I don't know, man. I know we
I
kind of
would
like talked
I
about
would
it
wish
before,
that
but
this podcast became number 1 on the charts.
yeah, right. Yeah, make a
That would
wish.
be my that would be my wish.
Yeah, one day. Yeah, just keep working at it. Just
Well,
keep
then,
plugging.
then,
We'll
then
just
that
keep
would be. I guess
posting
that would
when
be
we
a
have.
waste of a wish.
No, I mean, hey, I mean, it's better than underwear or ice cream.
Yeah. I would wish
Yeah,
for the best pencil or something. I don't know.
yeah. No, I don't. I
So,
mean, I don't know. I I feel like it's easy, but like I probably wish for money. I don't know. Like, so I don't have to worry about money anymore. My family doesn't have to worry about money. Maybe that type of wish
yeah.
instead of like an actual number. Just wish for money to not be a worry. I know some people they're like, "Oh, money doesn't buy you happiness," but I'm like, "Oh, you can get rid of a lot of worries, at the very least." Uh, so money's always a top wish.
I think money is definitely a top.
Yeah,
It's an easy one, in my opinion, to agree
yeah.
with
I
because
mean,
it just solves so many problems. If
yeah.
you had money, you don't have to worry about you know
Like
anything
I don't need
essentially.
the money to make me happy. I just need it to get rid of the problems that cause me
Right.
stress,
Right.
and then I could do other things that can actually make me happy. Enjoy the things
Right.
that make me happy. Um,
Right.
like doing the podcast or writing or whatever, hanging out, family, taking my family on trips, whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of working. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know resurrection's a big thing in Dragon Ball, but I guess there's, I don't know. Part of me is like, do you want to mess with that? The way things are supposed to go? Because obviously, our deaths that we've experienced. are natural and not Dragon Ball fighting to the death type of things. I don't know. What else do you got? What are you thinking of?
So, I mean, we could probably break it into three different categories. So, one would be health and longevity,
Yeah,
another would be fulfillment and success, and the final would be happiness and love.
there you go. Yeah, you broke it
So,
down pretty good.
yeah. So, I
Yeah,
think so. If we were going to wish for three, it would be for all three of those,
yeah.
maybe specific in those branches. So I think we already kind of talked about fulfillment and success, money, and mine was like the podcast getting, you know, number one on the charts, and this
Hmm.
could become our full-time job.
That'd be cool.
And, we would just this would be the best thing ever for us.
Yeah.
And
Health is
happiness and
really another
love,
one.
I think, yes,
Happiness and
happiness and
love. Yeah.
love. I obviously want happiness and love. I think that's probably the main reason why we get up every day is to
Yeah.
feel the love of our children, our wives,
Yep.
our and the happiness that all that brings, the joy. So,
Yeah.
and then health and longevity, obviously, like that always brings up the question: would you wish for immortality like Frieza? I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I
I
I
don't
think there's a
know.
beauty
I mean,
in
that could get very deep for me. I could get into that because, like, I don't know. I could go different ways with it. Some part of me would, some part of me wouldn't. Just like you said, there's like that. You know, the finality of life is like makes life not worth living, but like motivates you to do stuff. I guess.
right.
Oh, so if you knew you were living forever, I feel like it would get boring.
Yes.
In a sense. Um, that I mean, I
Well,
get into a whole
think about
religious thing too, because then like I have a fear of death, but I also have a fear of like if heaven's real, I have a fear of living forever. That freaks me out too.
yeah.
It's like what I feel like our brains can't fully comprehend what forever is.
Yes.
Like, because even when I say the word forever, it's like feels like a time. It feels like a time limit. Forever feels, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it right.
Yeah. No, that
Well,
makes sense.
forever, in the sense of a religion and heaven, is forever. There's no end. Like we don't like. There's nothing we experience in our lives that has no end. Everything has an end.
Everything. Right.
Our lives
So,
have an end. Our TV shows have an end. Our schooling has an end. Everything ends.
right.
Earth, we all. I mean, you talk science. Everyone knows at some point the Earth will cease to exist. Apparently, from
So, right. So
yeah,
we
so
could, in the hypothetical scenario that we live forever, we could literally just be floating in space with no Earth and
yeah, we have to
darkness,
be like,
like,
well, we want Earth to live forever. We want,
right.
so that stays sticks around, so we have somewhere to live. Um, yeah, I know it's a complicated question. I went all I could go off on it, and all different things, but like, yeah, I don't know. Part of me would want it because, like, again, sometimes I do have a fear of death. Like, it freaks me out sometimes. If I start thinking about it too much, I can have a little bit of a panic attack thinking about
Yeah.
that. But then at the same time, I could also feel the same way about thinking about living forever. It freaks me out
Yeah.
because it's like forever. Like there's no
It's
end.
the opposite. Right. It's the exact, it's, yeah.
There's no
Yeah. So,
goal. There's no journey. I guess I don't know. So I could go either
yeah.
way with that. It
I,
would just depend on the moment. If I got the Dragon Balls in that moment, how do I feel?
depends on how good you're feeling that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to lock in this feeling forever. Done. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. But you
So,
said you would. Like you're
no,
definitely
well, yeah. So
you're
I
definitely
have, I like you, I have some deep perspectives on this one. So, in relation to living forever, that's like a multi wish because if you think about it, if you could live forever, money doesn't matter anymore because you have all the time in the world to make money.
yeah. You
Whereas
just save
right
it up.
now, yeah,
ten
right,
thousand years from now, you save $1
right.
every day. So I don't
You got
know.
10,000. You got a lot more than $10,000.
I was like, yeah, that math doesn't add up. But
So
I knew where you were going. I knew what you meant.
yeah, yeah, I was going somewhere. It was almost intelligent, and then so well that's another one. Would you wish for intelligence? Would you wish for like
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I would wish for intelligence because maybe I don't want to know everything. What if
Yeah,
What if you could know everything?
Yeah, that'd be too much.
It seems like too much. I don't want to know everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't. I mean, I guess it's what what's that thing? The saying, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Right,
Like, I'd
right.
rather be blissful sometimes, so
Well,
I don't
that's a
want to learn
great
anything.
it's a great circle back into Groundhog Day because he got to the point where he kind of lived every day so many times that he knew everything about
Mm,
the town, about like what was going to happen at what different
yeah,
time, and it drove him to insanity. It drove him to
yeah,
madness. He tried to kill himself. He couldn't because he was stuck in a loop.
yeah,
But so getting back to what I was talking about with, okay, so why wouldn't I want to live forever? I think there's a certain beauty and a grace to knowing that there is an end
yeah,
to this beautiful life that we're going to live. And
yeah.
I think the thought of living forever and having to like wipe my ass and, like clean the dishes and like having to do
How's that
all
so
these
weird?
things,
I don't
you
want to
know,
wipe my ass forever.
right? Like taking shits forever. It's just like, there's a certain point where like I don't want to have to do that stuff anymore.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
instead of taking a shit, just die.
right?
And wipe my ass.
Just hold it in, go septic, and pass and die. That's it.
Jeez.
So
Yeah, I was with you. Yeah, I mean,
until then,
I don't know. That's like one of your top reasons. I don't want to shit and wipe my butt anymore. I don't. I can't do this forever. Uh,
well, just think about how many things you have to do forever in the scenario of doing
yeah.
things forever, and then at the very end of living forever, the Earth's going to be gone, so you can't even do that stuff. So you're just going to
Uh,
be pooping in outer space. I don't know, like how
yeah,
does it
so you
go?
gotta layer it. If you're gonna do that, you gotta layer it. You gotta find some way to also get the wish of like it depends how many wishes you get, but you have to find a way to make sure Earth doesn't die. So you have a whole
Right.
um
Well, and then it's like, okay, so then let's talk about that. So, right, if you're not gonna poop anymore, if that's like your second wish, right? Well, then
going
are
back
you
to
still gonna eat? Does your third wish have to
yeah,
be
you're saying you would wish if you were to wish for immortality, your second wish would be to not have to poop. Is
but
that what
like
you're saying? Am I
what
following?
no, it's 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 not just having to not poop. It's having to you can eat food and you don't have to poop it out.
But it's to
Like you
not
don't
poop. It's-
there's no more pooping, there's no more peeing. There's just eating and
okay.
enjoying and never
Right.
gaining weight. Like
Yeah,
there would have to be like 7 or 8 different wishes, chained
yeah, they
together
got
there.
that parameters. Yeah. I
But
mean,
I mean,
it's
so
a
like
way to go.
immortality in a sense of like, all right, I can literally jump off a building and just walk right,
Yeah.
walk away.
Uh,
Like I
Excuse me. I was gonna say like I guess part of the not I don't know if it's like the fear part of death, but like it is weird to think about not existing anymore.
yeah,
Like, at some point in history, this is all around us right now is gonna be completely different. We're gonna be long gone.
right.
And thinking about that, I probably shouldn't talk about it because it's gonna start to freak me out.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna start to give me a panic attack. Um, But it's weird to think about for me. Like if I get too deep into it in my head, I start to freak out. I start down the spiral of like what it means. I don't know. But like so some part of me would want to live forever so I can see the future in a sense.
Yeah.
Just see what the world becomes after. I don't know.
Well, that could be a wish.
It could be that. That
You
could be a wish. Just
you
to,
could wish to see the future and
yeah.
see, but that could possibly also be all knowledge kind of wish as well.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
or is tangled up with that. But
I would wish
yeah,
to live for longer, I guess. Like
I
maybe
okay.
live a
So let's
couple hundred years, like 200, 300 years.
yeah,
So I
let's talk
can,
about okay. So how about this for like a bridge wish, right? So how about we wish for the ability to choose when we're ready to pass. So we could live for 1,000 years, we could live for 20,000 years, we could live for 1,000,000 years. But
see, my fear of death, I don't think I'd ever choose. Like,
okay,
I would need it chosen for me, even
yeah,
though, like, part of me, like, feels the way you do of like there's that beauty in life and like death gives that life that meaning. If it was up to me, I'd be like, oh, not no, not right now. Like,
Yeah, just
I would
another
never
10
have
days.
the balls to like just be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, let's
Um,
kick it. Let's kick the can.
yeah, so I feel like I would need it chosen for me. I guess I
Yeah,
would need to just put that limit, not a limit, but like just say like age slower. I guess
right.
where I can live to be like 300, so I can see a bit to the future, live longer, do
So
more things.
in your immortality, would you maintain your current youth or would you age? So like you'd be 1,000 years old and like just all old and crickety, or would you still look young?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a grace in aging too. I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, maybe like the wish would be maybe age slower, like where I'd be what like say see an 80-year old now, like the equivalent of that would be like me at 300, like instead of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Okay, I
age a lot
see.
slower.
I think we're
Um,
kind of getting close to that. Not anywhere close to it now, but it, I think in 20, 30 years they're going to start coming out with some kind of cool drugs that are going to
yeah,
do that, just that.
I mean, no, I have heard things where like they work on stuff like that, but it's like at the same time I hear about overpopulation, so it's like,
Yeah.
you want people living longer? Do we
Right.
have the resources for that?
Right.
If there was immortality, like if everyone lived and no one died and everyone kept having babies, where's
Yeah.
everyone going to go at some point?
Oh boy. Yeah. Well,
Where's everyone going to go? Where's
that's
everyone
when we're
going to eat?
going to Mars. We're expanding.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
Thanos' thing, Marvel. I don't know if you watched those movies, but it was throughout the universe there just wasn't enough supply and demand. Like there's overpopulation was the essence of Thanos and why he did what he did. It was to save half the universe, get rid of half the people, half of existence. The other half gets to live and prosper because all the resources aren't like, minimal. So that's why like Thanos was like a super weird, not weird, but like an interesting villain because he had this. Obviously, it's evil, it's bad, killing half the universe, but the intentions were somewhat good. You know what I mean?
right.
Like
Yeah.
he wanted half of the universe. He didn't choose who or who went, who didn't. He just knew throughout the universe the resources weren't enough for the amount of beings living everywhere. So his goal was to get the stones and wipe out half of existence,
Hmm.
so that the rest could thrive and live. Uh, so yeah, again that's like it's a weird question. It's just like that'd be cool if they had medicine or things that could help people live longer, and but then you get into that overpopulation thing, and it's like, do we have the resources? Does Earth have the resources for that?
Well, when you're starting to upset the natural balance, right? So
Right.
everybody, if you think about, naturally we're probably supposed to only live at max 100, 120 years. I don't know. Like the oldest people are in Japan. I think they get to 120 years old, something like
Yeah.
that. So, like, I think naturally, if all the factors are correct, you can get to a very old age. But when you start pushing the boundary 200, 300, 400 years, everybody's living that long. Yeah, it starts to get interesting because after a certain age, how productive can you really be?
Right.
You could be a wise sage, and I think there's value in the elderly. I think there's much value to and knowledge that can be learned and gleaned
Yeah.
from the wisdom of age, and possibly it could help to expand us. If we have more people who are wiser and older and kind of get to that older age level, then
Yeah.
we could possibly expand our knowledge beyond what we know now because obviously we're limited by our small lifetime. So you can
Yeah.
only kind of really focus on one topic in your life if you're lucky and get really good at it, and then express that knowledge to others if you really get lucky and successful.
Yeah.
And So I think it does raise a lot of interesting questions. Like you said, how do we how do we live in that kind of world where everybody starts living to 400, 300, and
Yeah,
slowly dying and all that
I'm
stuff. So
definitely not the one that has those answers, but I have the
no, no,
questions.
no, no.
I can
Very
give
on.
questions. I can't give answers.
Well, I like thinking about it, definitely, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean, yeah, we went off on a tangent there with. We were talking about the Dragon Balls at some point.
right. Well,
We went
but
off on
this
a
was
tangent.
well, that was the wish. The wish
I
was,
know.
would it be health and longevity? Because in the health conversation, would you be, would you rather have health or longevity? What if it was only you? Like you couldn't wish for everybody. You could only wish for yourself, and then you get to
Yeah.
see all your family and loved ones pass away while you're getting
Right.
older.
Yeah. That's it. There's so many different layers to it, dude. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's a lot.
Or would you just wish for success and fulfillment and and helping others and making other people happy? And
Yeah.
I think that would make me happy, like to see everybody benefit and all the
Yeah. I think
boats
when you break
rising
it
and
down, it's like if that again, if in a hypothetical situation, if that was a real choice to have to choose a wish, like again, if you think about it, it's like there's all those other parameters for all those other wishes. So if you just keep it simple, health and longevity or whatever, like you said, keep it simple or prosperity. What is what you were saying? Um,
yeah,
Health and prosperity for you and your family. That's the best you can really wish for.
right. I think that's what everybody wishes for too. Well,
Yeah.
happiness I think is the main,
Yeah.
like everything's under the umbrella of happiness, and then we find
Yeah.
you know, love and all those things kind of fill in the things,
Right.
reasons why we do things.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
all right, I think
Well,
we could probably wrap up this topic unless you got anything else on it.
no, I mean I'm good. I'm solid there.
The only other thing is let's speculate on what the Daima wish is going to be because we're going to get it. We're going to get it soon.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, they just. I mean, not just, but I know I heard there's an end date for Diamond, so this is going to be about 20 episodes. We are. I think they released 14 now. I watched up to 13.
Yeah,
I mean, we know they're going for the wish of obviously becoming adults again,
right.
but there's also. I feel like there's something else in there of the what's it? I can forget the name. The doctor girl,
Arinsu.
Arinsu. Obviously she wants something. So I feel like that's the most interesting thing, figuring out what her wish is because she's trying to get the
Right.
Dragon Balls. And obviously, you know, King Goma probably wants them. So
Right.
what are their wishes? Um, our characters, the good guys, we know what theirs is. Get tall or become adults again. I mean, you imagine it's some type of power move. Um, Dr. Orinsu probably wants maybe to be queen of the demon realm.
Right.
Gomo
Definitely.
maybe will wish for to be more powerful, physically, so he can take care of his own business. I don't know. That's kind of my guess. That's I feels like the most typical thing for
Right.
villains: power, immortality, something like that. Um, so that's where I feel like they're going.
I think you're right. I don't disagree with that at all. I think if there's I think the only thing that we might not be considering is that we've had so much success for the Z Warriors during this Daima run. It
Yeah,
just seems like every battle, Goku and the Z Warriors are just smashing through everybody in the Demon Realm.
yeah,
So I have a feeling that Akira has a nice surprise for us. And what's going to happen is either Dr. Rinsu or Goma are going to make the wish. They're going to get the evil wish
yeah,
that you mentioned. And then,
yeah,
that's how it's going to up the ante because right now everybody's just too low. They're just low powered. They can't even
yeah.
they can't even come close to competing with the Z Warriors
No.
at their current level.
Yeah, I mean they've had some good battles. Like some of the fight scenes have all been cool and stuff. But yeah, I mean there hasn't been like an imposing force that feels like a
Right.
major threat.
Yes.
Um,
There hasn't been that Frieza moment, that Cell moment, that Majin Buu moment where
yeah,
you're like,
I
"Holy
mean,
crap, are they gonna win? This is getting really, really hairy here." Like,
but how similar is that to Dragon Ball? Like, was there ever that main like big bad that was just like it took everything plus some to defeat?
yeah, it was King Piccolo.
All right, King Piccolo, right?
But yeah, in the beginning, the first couple of seasons, Goku just ran through the Red Ribbon Army like he was like
Yeah.
a knife through, like a hot knife through butter. He
See,
just
I
ran
kind
right
of
through it.
there is a part of me kind of sees it going that way, where it's like the main story is just the journey. They got put on this path of like this, they got turned into kids, and then they went on this journey to get the Dragon Balls to become adults again. They went through different characters, different villains that gave them some trouble. Some part of me feels like I hope you're right, whereas like there's more of a surprise and like something bigger is going to happen. Some type of big epic fight would be cool of like an imposing force. Um, and I definitely think that's still a possibility. Just part of me also thinks there's also that possibility where you don't really get that, and it's just kind of like the journey is the main story, and like the culmination of the journey. There'll probably be some type of fight, but I don't know. Maybe it might not be like a super imposing type of thing. Maybe it'll be a fusion of the two, Boo and Koo. I don't know.
There's
Maybe
got
they
to be some kind
fuse.
of, yeah. They
Um,
haven't done it yet, so there has to be a fusion reveal, I
yeah, 'cause they
think.
have talked about the fusion. They brought it
Right.
up. They didn't bring that up for no reason.
Yep.
So somebody there's gotta come. It's gotta come into play at some point. Um, and so yeah, there's only like 5 episodes left. So 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know. 5 or 6. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy the show though, so I'm having fun with it.
I feel like a kid, but it's really my favorite like part of the week. Is it's Friday. I get another episode. I get really
Yeah,
excited on Fridays.
yeah, yeah. It's a
So
good show. It's enjoyable, and it makes me want to watch. I guess whenever this is done, I'll maybe start watching Dragon Ball.
yeah,
So we can start talking about that a little bit.
I'd love that.
Because it
Yeah,
makes
let's
me like I see
do
the
that.
elements of Dragon Ball in it, so it's like it makes me interested in it. The whole power pull thing, I think, is really cool. So yeah,
Yeah, let's. I think that's definitely the next step. Is after this, we start talking through Dragon Ball and walking
yeah, and
through
then we
the
get to
series.
see and do all the different things. But
Yep,
yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes, man.
yep. Me too. Me too. So, what was the last thing that you watched in Daima? Where's the last
I
part
think the
that you
episode
were?
was called Third Eye, so I know that's like a new thing too. Where King Goma brought up the third eye. He saw it on whatever that dude's name is, his belt randomly.
Ibis,
Yeah, I bet that was it.
like
And then they gave that
hibiscus.
whole story of how he got it on his belt. Um, so that was the last thing I saw. And they fought that like little army, and the girl Pansy, her dad came down. King of like the third realm came down and helped them. So yeah, that was the last thing I saw.
Yeah, that one scene where he comes in, they come in and like save the day, and then
Yeah,
the helicopter, the airplane was blown up, and then
yeah.
they
And then
come
they
back
killed
out
the
like,
airplane.
oh no, they're here, they're safe,
Yeah,
but for a moment you thought they were gone.
yeah. That was a good
Classic
fight scene. I thought that
Akira.
was kind of a fun scene, fun
Yeah,
fight. And
yeah,
Goku
I
power
loved it.
pole bunch and Goku Vegeta. There was like a nice scene like Goku Vegeta and Piccolo. They'll kind of jump up and go in.
Yes,
That was kind of cool to see them
right.
together.
I thought that was so well done. And also, I don't remember. Maybe there were certain things in earlier series in the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but I don't
Mm.
remember such a well coordinated collaborative fight like that, where they were all working together, fighting
Yeah,
kind of like this big battle.
it's
It's
been
always
yeah. I mean, it's been a long time from any that I can remember because that's one thing that bugs me sometimes too. Is like it always seems to be like these battles.
one on
You know,
ones.
like they're always well, not just one on one, but everyone's there and they just stand back. There's some
Yeah,
reason that they all just stand there. Like we're
right.
just gonna let this. We're just gonna let the you fight him, and if you lose, the Earth is destroyed. That's fine. We'll
Yeah,
move on. And
and
it's like
that's
what?
them's is the terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like what are you doing? Like what? Like the last time it was a bit like a team up was like Frieza that I can remember because it was like Goku. They were trying to hold it down until Goku could come, but it was like Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta were all trying to take on Frieza like pretty much at the same time, and then that's why Frieza kept transforming.
Yep.
First, I mean, obviously Frieza was stronger than them, but then it was like all of them together. Frieza had to transform.
Right.
Because he couldn't at some point because even the Vegeta got involved. So that was like really the last time it wasn't just like this like, oh, I'm the villain, I'm here to kill everyone, but I'll take you on one at a time.
Yes.
And then
Right.
everyone like Vegeta or somebody's like, yeah, we're gonna see how good Goku does. Everyone stand back and watch. Like it's always like this stupid excuse, and it's like feels like again, it kind of feels stupid to me. Like why you guys are just standing back, but I guess
Right.
it's
And
just
then
what we do.
the only other thing that came kind of close to collaborative battle was in Super with the World Tour, or not the World, the end tournament, or I forget the name of the tournament where Goku fights the,
Right,
but they were all kind of in teams and they were fighting,
right.
but it wasn't. I didn't feel like that was well coordinated because it seemed like they were scattered and fighting their own individual battles, and they weren't really
There was a lot of
working.
it. At
Yeah.
the end, there was some cool scenes. I know there was like some scenes. Again, like it depends on your thought process. Because one of the scenes that I know was brought up a bunch that was people thought was cool was like Goku. It was like Goku, Frieza, and 17 like
Oh
teamed up to
yeah.
take on Jiren. It's like it's kind of seemed cool, but at the same time, I don't love the visual of Goku at Frieza teaming up.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
get the scenario, I get the story. So I'm glad they didn't really make Frieza like it almost felt like at the time like they were trying to make Frieza into like a new ally.
Yes.
But it didn't really like especially with knowing where the manga's went, like, Frieza is back to his old ways of being Frieza. So it's like I'm kinda glad they didn't try to actually make him like an ally. It
Yeah.
was literally just for that fight. So I was like, all right, I'll let it go. I don't. I didn't love that idea, but it was a cool fight scene, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they always play around with that concept of the bad guy becoming a good guy kind of thing.
Yeah, it happens too
They,
much though. Like
yeah,
kind
I
of
agree. It is overplayed.
overplayed.
Yeah. They do that in other things. Like Walking Dead did that a lot with a lot of the characters where they'd bring
Yeah,
in
maybe. So,
like
I mean,
Negan.
it was Negan was the main one.
Right.
'Cause a lot of the other ones died. I mean,
Yeah.
the governor was never
Right.
that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Uh, the cannibal people that didn't
Yeah, they were
happen.
gone.
Negan was like the main one.
Yeah, he was. Who was the other one? The one with the scarred face. He was another one that they brought in though to the fold. Forget his name.
Scarface.
Dylan?
Dylan.
Was it Dylan? No, it was
Uh,
Derek. I
Daryl?
forget. Daryl. Well, no,
I
not.
mean, he wasn't like a villain though. He was like a side character at the beginning, but then he became
Yeah,
like pretty much the main character after Rick left.
right.
Um, but he was
Well, no,
abused.
not Daryl. It was the blonde guy who Negan basically like scarred his face.
Hardest fate. I don't know. I can't remember what you're talking about.
Negan took his wife into his harem. I forget.
Oh, Dwight.
Dwight.
Yeah, he left the show too. He went to the other one,
Yeah, Fear the Walking
uh,
Dead.
Fear the
Uh,
Walking Dead.
yeah.
Or,
So anyway, back
yeah,
to we really tangent there,
yeah, we can go off on different things.
but yeah, back to Daima. Essentially, the wish that I think is gonna happen is probably a power wish. Either Arinsu's gonna get it, but I have a feeling Arinsu's not gonna get it. I have a feeling that Goma's gonna get the wish.
Yeah,
And that's what, because remember, we were always like, oh, Goma, he doesn't really look like the big bad.
Yeah.
Well, I have a
He's got
feeling,
Dexter.
I have a
He's
feeling
got
that
Fruit in there.
he was character designed that way for a reason, because they're going to show a big transformation there.
Yeah, I can
So,
see it.
in the Wish.
I can see
So,
it.
so
Well,
I
yeah.
think I once again, from the very beginning of the show, like the first reaction till now, I love what they did with what he did with Diamond. I'm very sad that
Yeah.
he can't make any more.
Yeah, I know.
Because what's going to happen is you're going to get more GT spin-offs and they're going to be terrible. Like they're going to try to create
Right.
Dragon Ball without his guiding vision, and it's going to go into the GT, realm. I think
Yeah.
that's my best, guess on what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the series
I
is going to
mean,
die again.
hopefully not. I mean, I know, I feel like his son is trying to be involved, and like there was another guy he's worked with for a long time where they're trying to be the ones to, I don't know. Well, I haven't read up too much recently, but at least if if you get people like his son and this other guy who's worked with for a long time, if you get them to be in charge, at least there's some of his influence on them. Whereas I
Right,
know
right.
GT was just random. I feel like it was just studio took over and like anyone was in charge.
Yeah,
Um, so we'll see. I mean, let's hope for the best. Let's just enjoy this while we got it. Um, I think the mangas are supposed to continue soon-ish. And I think they said there were still some stories that he had written out that, like, whatever stories were already unfolding, he wrote them out, wrote out their plot line for a little while. So there's still some material from him, I
okay.
think. Um, yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Um, hope for the best, but enjoy Daima while we got it.
That's right.
And yeah, I mean, I think that wraps us up for today.
Yep. The only thing we forgot to say is go Birds.
Yeah, go Birds, buddy. We'll see. Next episode, hopefully we'll be talking about our second Super Bowl championship.
Yeah.
And mixing Diamond in there too.
That's it for today's podcast. Thank you for listening.
And remember, you can follow us on Instagram at WaybackDads, just saying, and tune into the show every other Tuesday.
You can find us on Spotify and YouTube. Thanks for being part of the journey. Until next time, we're Wayback Dads.
And we're just saying.